Popcorn crumbs are falling under the colander.
Oh, yeah, that could be a problem.
Oops.
The Mets, step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of it because the Mets are really sucking the ball. Knocking those home runs over the wall. Each side wears a tie. Everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York.
Welcome to beautiful Wrigley Field here in Chicago. We bring you more of the 1968 alternate universe New York Met replay, where we take Jacob deGrom and put him on the 2021 Stratomatic card and insert him to the 1968 season. As you notice, we've already played our Jacob deGrom game of the series. We'll now go to the next best, or the similarities in this case. We'll go to Mr. Tom Seaver. Welcome aboard, everybody. STM bring you this ride of a lifetime as he brings you New York Met coverage here against Tom Seaver against Ken Holtzman for today's big contest here. So give me 1 second. We're going to pull up the statistics for this one right here and see if I have that. Let's go ahead and give you the TWIB notes, as I call them, for today's game between the Mets and the Cubs. This is going to be May 11th, 1968. The Mets come at 16-9, the Cubs 17-10. The Mets are 16-9 in first place. The Cubs are 17-10 in second. The Mets are 7-5 on the road, 5-2 versus lefties. The Cubs are 10-3 at home, and they're 13-8 versus righties. Seaver on the season's 2-1. He's going to make his sixth start of the year. So he's had some issues with getting out of games and getting the decision. His ERA is 3.49. He had one really bad start against the Giants. Otherwise, he's been spot on. On the mound is Ken Holtzman, making his sixth start. He's 1-2, and he has an ERA of 3.60. This is the second game of a 4-game series. The Cubs handed the Mets a win in the first game in the series, defeating Jacob and the Mets by the score of 2-1. Cubs 2-6-1. The Mets were 1-7-1. After this, the Mets and Cubs will be in a doubleheader. Both will not be on network TVs. We'll go ahead and auto those. Will be Kuzman and Cardwell against Negro and Rich Nye. Here we go, folks. Current hitting streaks: Becker and Billy Williams both had 5 games. The hottest Met hitter over the last 10 games is still Ed Charles, hitting .313, 10 for 32, and 2 homers. Let's do this from Wrigley Field, as we'll bring you today's exciting coverage of the New York Mets against the Chicago Cubs here at Wrigley Field. As the Cubs take field, let's go ahead and tell you more. This is in Stratomatic and advanced. It's the season I have in 68 does not have the super advanced figures. We're playing a very basic game here. For the Cubbies, will be Williams in left, Phillips in center, and Spangler in right. Santos at third, Kessinger at short, Becker at second, and Banks at first. Hundley is behind the plate. And on the mound, the left-hander is Ken Holtzman. Like we said, he's 1-2, 3.60 ERA, 27 hits in 30 innings. His last start was against the Mets and Tom Seaver. We broadcasted that one right after Jacob deGrom's amazing start against the Cubs the game prior. In his last start, he did lose it. He only went 4 innings, giving up 5 hits, 3 earned. Cubs kind of pulled him early and took the loss. He had a win back on the 30th of the month, going 7 innings, getting over 6 hits, 3 runs, and 3 earned. So Holtzman is ready. The Mets are ready. The Mets lineup is going to be Agee, Weiss, and Jones, Charles, Swoboda, Grody. Fill-ins harmonica will travel, Bud Harrelson, and Tom Seaver. Here we go as Tommy Agee steps up, hitting 196. Again, we talked about Agee needing to pick it up a little, but he only hit 217 in 68. So it's kind of he became such a great ball player in 69. You probably didn't think he was capable of the numbers he's having. So Agee will step up. Hopefully, it'll turn around for him. Hundley sets in the target. Holtzman with the lineup and the first pitch. And that's going to be ground ball back to Holtzman. He's got it. Goes to Banks, and you got out number one. Here is Al Weiss, 23 at-bats, 2 RBIs, hitting .87. Playing second base today instead. Playing second or third. He's playing third base today. So Weiss gets the start at third today. Hundley sets the target. Holtzman with the windup. Here's the pitch to Weiss. And that's a single for Al Weiss. A big hit for Weiss. He gets to it. Adolfo Phillips throws the ball in, and Weiss is on first. Here's Cleon Jones hitting a respectable 286, 90 at-bats, 2 doubles, 3 triples, 5 homers, and 14 ribbies. Hundley puts down the target. Holtzman from the stretch, run first and 1 out, and pitch to Cleon Jones. And Cleon Jones, deep to left center field. That's way back, gone out of here. On top of Waveland Avenue, outside of Wrigley Field. A 2-run monster home run for Cleon Jones, and the Mets take a 2-0 lead. So that's the way the Mets can do it. A big 2-run bomb from Cleon. A bit of a start here in the first. Here's Charles hitting 365, 5 homers, 20 RBIs, having one of the best 100 at-bats anyone's really had in a season. He's absolutely been a big man on this team, and he really loves to hit lefties. Hundley by Holtzman now giving up that big home run. Here's the pitch to Charles, and that is going to be a base hit for Charles. So Charles continues his hot hitting. Mets lead 2-0. Here's Ronnie Swoboda. So Swoboda comes up, hitting 198, 2 homers and 6 ribbies. Hundley puts down the target. Holtzman from the stretch, runner on first and 1 out. Pitch to Swoboda, and that's going to be a walk. And Holtzman all of a sudden has kind of fallen apart after that 2-run homer to Cleon Jones. Here's Jerry Grody hitting 286. But his defense has been what's been spectacular. He has been an absolute best friend to the DeGrom and Seaver, the 2 Met phenoms on their staff, as he has been an ear for them. He has been an absolute leader in this locker room for the Mets. Grody, the right-handed hitting catcher. Hundley sets in the target. Holtzman from the stretch, pitch to Grody, and that's a fly ball to right. Spangler is coming in, makes the catch, and Charles will hold. 2 away, here's Phil Linz, hitting 357, 28 at-bats, and 4 ribbies, so he's had a hot start. Hundley puts down the target. Holtzman from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Linz, and that is going to be a base hit for Linz. Let's see if they send Charles. 1-17, he's coming home. Here's the throw, not in time, and the Mets lead 3-0. RBI, Phil Linz. So the Mets jumping on the Cubs here in the first, leading by 3. Here's Bud Harrelson now. Harrelson hitting 230, 8 ribbies. Hundley sets in the target. Holtzman from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Harrelson, and that's a ground ball to short. Kessinger to Becker, the easy way to end the inning. The Mets, 3 runs, 4 big blowout on Jones, 2-run homer at the end of 1/2 inning of play. Mets 3, here come the Cubs. So bottom first, the Cubs now struggling now, coming out down 3. Let's see what Tom Seaver has to say. Seaver 2-1, 3.49 ERA, 37 hits, 39 innings. One huge bad start has been his downfall for the early season. That came back against the San Francisco Giants, where the Mets came back and won an unbelievable game. It was back on the 17th of the month. He went an inning and 2/3. He gave up 5 hits, 7 runs, 7 earned, and he was toast. Then he came back 4 days later and pitched a 12-inning complete game, giving up 10 hits, 1 run. It was earned, and guess what? It was a no decision. Then he lost on the 30th of the month, going 7 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs, 4, and in his last start on the 5th of the month, he won a complete game, 9 innings, getting up 6 hits and 1 run. It was earned in 9 Ks. So again, it's been all-time terrific here. 3.49 ERA, trying to lower that now. Grody sits in the target. Seaver the windup. Here's the pitch to Phillips, and that is going to be a strikeout for Big Tom. So Tom Seaver gets his first. Here is Art Spangler hitting 271, homers, 5 RBIs. Grody puts down the target, and Seaver with a big wind up and kicks for Spangler. Single for Spangler. First hit for the Cubs. So now here's Billy Williams in 327, 6 doubles, 18 RBIs. With this guy, you don't have action. You don't hear a lot of publicity in Chicago, and this guy has just had a fantastic year after year. Power, Grody puts down the target. Seaver from the stretch. Runner on first and 1 out. Pitch to Billy Williams. And that is going to ground ball to first. Charles goes. That's the fourth hit. Williams will beat the relay. And others beat the relay. So runner on first, 2 outs. Here is Ernie Banks. Banks the batter, hitting .215, 6 doubles, 4 homers, 15 RBIs. Grody puts down the target. Seaver from the stretch. Here's a pitch to Banks. And that is the line drive right out wide. Ends the inning. But for the Cubs, no runs, 1 hit, stranded 1. We played 1. It's 3 Mets. So Mets, little start here with the lead. He'll now bring up Seaver, followed by Agee and Weiss. Seaver, good hitting pitcher. Hundley puts down the target. Holtzman with the windup, and here's the pitch. And that is going to be a strikeout for Holtzman. Inside corner, sends Seaver back. Here's Tommy Agee. He's 0 for 1. Grounded out his first time up. Hundley puts down the target, and Holtzman with the windup, pitch to 8. And that is going to be a ground ball to second. Becker's got it, goes to first, and that's 2 outs. Here's Al Weiss, singled and scored on the Cleon Jones home run in the first. Hundley puts down the signs, gives the sign for Holtzman. Kessinger back at playing up the middle. Holtzman with the big windup and deals to Al Weiss. And Weiss struck him out, and the Mets go down 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the second. It's 3-0 Mets. So now it'll be Santos, Becker, and Hundley the bat for the Cubs here in the second. Mets up by 3. Ron Santos, again, one of those underrated Cubs that play in a city not known for baseball, has not won a championship, not won a division championship in so long. But they possess 3 of the more, and you want to look at Hall of Famers, they possess 3 Hall of Famers back to back on the team. Billy Williams, Ernie Banks, and eventually, but he gets in the Hall of Fame. Don't forget Ferguson Jenkins. So this Cubs team doesn't get a lot of respect, but they are tied for first place in the National League. Grody put down a sign. Seaver looks in, the big windup to Santos. And a strikeout. Seaver gets his second, and now here's Glenn Becker. Becker had a nice, quiet year, hitting 364, one of the top hitters in the National League, 11 RBIs on the season. Grody puts down the target. Seaver with the big windup to Glenn Becker. And here is 5-ball center field. Agee doesn't really have to move. 2 outs, and that's it. So here's another underrated man. That's Randy Hundley, hitting .240, 1 home run, 12 RBIs. Always a good, dependable backstop. Probably one of the better catching arms in the National League. Grody puts down the sign. Seaver with the big windup, pitch to Hundley. And that is going to be a base hit for Hundley. Base hit number 2 for the Cubbies. So now here's a shortstop, Don Kessinger. 206, 2 doubles, a triple, and 9 RBIs. So Kessinger to bat, 2 outs. Grody puts down the sign. Seaver from the stretch. Runner on first and 2 outs. Pitch to Kessinger, and that's a single to center field. Hundley will stop at second as Agee's strong arm will throw it in the runoff man, holding Hundley there. First and second, 2 out. Cubs bring the tying run to the plate. It's going to be Ken Holtzman, not really known for a hitter. 125, no homers, 5 RBIs on the season as Grody puts down the sign. Seaver from the stretch, 2 on, 2 outs. Pitch to Holtzman. And he ground ball back to Seaver. Gets it, throws it to Charles, and the Cubs strand 2. We played 2, 3-0 Mets. We go to the top of the third. Top of the third, Cleon Jones, followed by Ed Charles and Ron Swoboda, the bat for the Mets here in the third. Jones, a big 2-run homer back in the first, his 6th of the season. Hundley sets in the target. Holtzman with the big wide up to Cleon Jones, and that's a fly ball to right. Spangler is there, makes the catch, and there's one away. Here's Ed Charles, 1-for-1, singled in, run scored his last time up. Hundley puts down the target. Holtzman with the big wind up to Charles, and that's going to be a strikeout side corner. This time Charles looked at it. 2 outs here in the third. Here's Swoboda, walked his first time up. He's hitting 198, but what can you say about Ronnie so far? 22 walks in those 81 at bats. So he's actually got a little bit of a on-base percentage for the Mets so far this year. But he has struck out 25 times. So they need Ronnie to get started a little bit here. Hundley puts down the sign. Holtzman with a big windup to Swoboda. And Swoboda struck him out. Big strikeout for Holtzman. And we played 2.5. 3-0 Mets. Phillips, followed by Spangler and Williams. Phillips, the batter, he will come up. He's 0-for-1, followed by Spangler and Williams. That is a right, left against the franchise, Tom Seaver. Grody puts down the target. Seaver looks in. Here's the pitch to Williams, and that is a fly ball to center. AG should get to it and makes the catch, and there's one away. Here's Artie Spangler, 1-for-1. So Spangler comes up. Grody puts down the target. Seaver with the big wind-up pitch to Artie Spangler. And that's 4-11 ground ball to first. Charles gobbles it, takes with the bag himself. And there's 2 outs. And here's Billy Williams. Williams 0-for-1. He got round to a forced out his first time up. 2 outs here in the third. Mets lead by 3, 4-0. Out hitting the Cubbies 4-2. Grody puts down the target. Seaver with the big windup and deals to Billy Williams. And that's a fly ball to right. Swoboda is there, makes the catch, and we play 3 through 3-0 Mets. A little bit of a short out-town scoreboard. Astros and the Cardinals are at 1-1. It's the Giants leading the Reds 3-2, and the Braves leading the Dodgers 1-0. So Jerry Grody, the bat here, top of the fourth. He's 0-for-1 with a flyout. Holtzman working in the 4th inning. Mets with a 3-run first, holding on so far. Hundley puts down the target. Holtzman with the big windup, the pitch to Grody, and that is going to be a fly ball to center. Phillips there. Oh, it dropped in front of Phillips. He cannot make the play. Grody's going to get himself a double. So Jerry Grody with a double. Adolfo Phillips unable to make the play. Grody with good speed. I mean, I'm saying a lot out of Grody, but he came out of the box hot. He hit the bag and he tore off the second and got in there. So a big double for Grody. The lead off the visitors' 4th. Here's Phil Linz, 1-for-1 RBIs first time up. Another opportunity. Linz has been up 29 times. He's hit 379. When he gets in there, he's providing a spark plug for that offense. Hundley sets in the target. Holtzman from the stretch. Here's a pitch to Linz. And that's going to be a ground ball to third. Santos looks back. Grody throws down the banks, 1 away. 1 out here in the 4th. Here's the shortstop, Bud Harrelson. Harrelson so far grounded out his first time up. He'll be followed by Seaver. Let's see if the Cubs maybe pitch on Harrelson with a light-hitting Seaver on deck. Hundley puts down the target. Holtzman working from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Harrelson. He'll swing away. And that's a ground ball to short. That is Kessinger. Top play for Don. Comes up and throws him out. And again, Grody has to hold. So now Tom Seaver is going to have to make a decision. So 2 outs, runner on second. Seaver, who struck out his first time up, comes up with a runner on second. Hundley puts down the target. Holtzman working from the stretch, trying to work his way out of this. Here's the pitch to Seaver. And that is going to be a strikeout for Seaver to end the inning. So Houdini's himself out of it. A leadoff double is wasted to the bottom of the 4th. 3-0 Mets. 3 runs on 5 hits and no errors for the Mets, while no runs on 3 hits for the Cubs. Banks followed by Santos and Becker to bat for the Cubs 4th. So Banks leading off your bottom 4 here on the south side of Chicago, Wrigley Field. Grody puts down the target, Seaver, and here's the pitch to Banks. And that is going to be a line drive in the gap for a base hit. Banks around first will hold there, and the Cubs have their 4th hit of the ballgame, a leadoff knock for Banks. So again, good start for the Cubbies. Melvin Steiner is your home plate umpire. Augie Donatelli's over at first. Over at second is Tony Verson. And Paul Pryor is over at third. Good crowd here on a Saturday, about maybe 22,000 or so. Good Saturday afternoon. And tomorrow you have your Sunday doubleheader. So last of fourth, Mets lead by 3. Grody behind the plate. Seaver from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Santos. And that is going to be a strikeout for Seaver. Gets number 3 for Tom. 31 on the season for Seaver. Here's Becker. Grody puts down the target. Seaver with the windup. Here's the pitch to Becker. And that hit batsman. Oh, my. Seaver went too far inside. Let's make sure the Mets are on. Yeah, Chicago is punching the opponents. Runners at first and second. 1 out. 3-0 Mets. Cubs again bring the tying runner to plate for Randy Hundley. He's 1 for 1. A single his last time up. Now Seaver looks in from now working from the stretch here. Grody puts down the sign. He says, come on, let's get it down here. The calming man for this Met rotation has been Jerry Grody. Grody pops the sign, gives Seaver what he needs. Seaver says, okay, from the stretch, 2 on, 1 out. Here's the pitch to Hundley. And that's going to be a line drive shortstop. Harrelson and Banks had a whole big-time play by Harrelson to maybe stop a run. Oh, he had it played perfectly. 2 outs in the fourth. And here's Don Kessinger. Now, Kessinger's 1 for 1, singled his last time up. Big opportunity for Seaver to get out of this without giving up any runs. 2 on, 2 outs. Grody puts down the sign. Seaver from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Kessinger. And that's going to be a fly ball shallow left. Cleon Jones makes the catch. No runs, 1 hit, a hit batsman. We played 4-3-0 Mets. 5th here as we will go on Wrigley Field in Chicago. Tommy Agee followed by Al Weiss and Cleon Jones. So Tommy Agee, so far your Met 3 runs on 5 hits and no errors. The Cubs, no runs on 4 hits. Top of the 5th here at Chicago. Tommy Agee 0 for 2. Hundley puts down the sign. Smith looks in and the line up to Agee. And that is going to be a fly ball to center. Phillips, who struggled that time, he's gonna mess this one up again. So Adolfo Phillips cannot make the play. I'll go to the wall. Agee around first. Goes to second, but he'll be held there. It's a good strong throw back in. And Agee leads off with a double. So again, a leadoff double for the Mets. Again, Adolfo Phillips comes back in. That beat the wind. Blew to the left center field. Phillips did not see it well. And now the Cubs have a runner on second with the Mets have a runner on second with nobody out. Here's Al Weiss. Again, he has been money. That's 1 for 2. Single back in the first, struck out in the second. Hundley puts down the target. Holtzman on the stretch. Runner on second. Nobody out. Pitch to Weiss. And that's a ground ball to second. Becker's got it. Goes to Banks, and that's the out. That's the out the Mets needed for the runner to go to third. So now with 1 out, Agee at third with great speed. Here's Cleon Jones who had a big 2-run homer back in first and flied out in the second. What will they do here? As they have Ed Charles on deck, who has really been socking the ball well. The Cubs have brought the infield in. Santos and Kessinger in on the grass. Becker and Banks enough to say hello to Mr. Holtzman. So the infield is in. They are going to go for the play at the plate if hit at him, but they're going to have to really try hard. Agee has great speed coming down that line. We're on third and 1 out. Hundley sets in the target. Holtzman from the buckle. Here's the pitch. Cleon Jones. High ball center. Phillips is going to come in. He's going to test the arm. Here comes Agee. The throw not in time. Sacrifice fly RBI Mets, and that will make it 4-0 Mets. So Cleon Jones with 3 RBIs in a ball game. The Mets add 1 here in the 5th. And here's Ed Charles, who's 1 for 2. Hundley puts down the sign. Holtzman with the big windup and deals Ed Charles. Charles on a walk. So he gets another man on. So Charles again gets on first base with 2 outs. And here's Swoboda. He's walked in, struck out. Hundley puts down the sign. Holtzman working from the stretch. Runner on first and 2 out. Pitch to Swoboda. And this is the first. Banks there, makes the catch. and the Mets add one in the fifth. Let's go to the bottom of the fifth. It's 4 Mets as they add one here in the fifth. So now the Mets Cubs try to hold on here. Mets 4 runs on 6 hits. The Cubs no runs, 4 hits. Seaver trying to go through the last couple innings, but they have not had the big hit so far. Grody down the sign. Seaver from the big windup pitch to Holtzman, who bats still here in the fifth, and struck him out. So Seaver gets another strikeout. That's 4 for Tom. 1 out in the fifth, and here's Phillips, who's 0 for 2. Struck out and flied out. Grody puts down the sign. Seaver with the big windup to Adolfo Phillips, and that is going to be a fly ball to center. That's Agee. Does he come up with it? No, it goes over Agee's head. The wind must really be gusting out there in left center field. Agee cannot make the play. Off the top of the field, bounces off the ivy a little bit. Phillips around first will head to second, stays right there as Agee gets the ball back in. So Tommy Agee, he says, it was me. He lost it. He lost it in center field there, and it flew right over his head. That wind is playing tricks. Runner on second, 1 out for the Cubs, and here they come again. Here's Art Spangler, 1 for 2. Cubs have 5 hits in the ball game, just not getting that big hit for the run RBI so far. Grody puts down the sign. Seaver from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Spangler, and that is going to be ground ball to first. Charles got it, kick back himself as Phillips heads to third. Runner on third and 2 outs for Billy Williams. A tough spot for Seaver. 0 for 2 in the ball game. You cannot usually hold Billy Williams on that long. On deck man is the right-handed hitter Ernie Banks. Grody puts down the target. Seaver from the stretch. Runner on third, 2 outs. Phillips good speed off third. Here's the pitch to Billy Williams. That's a ground ball to short. Harrelson's got it, throws to first, and Seaver lays himself out of the fifth inning. No runs, 1 hit, runner left on third. We played 5. It's 4-0 Mets. So the Mets are 4-0 as we head to the 6th. And here's Jerry Grody, followed by Linz and Harrelson. Hundley puts down the target. Holtzman with the big windup. Here's the pitch to Grody. And that is going to be a line drive base hit for Grody. So he's 2 for 3. Again, giving the Mets more than they've had for him. Here again is Phil Linz. Harmonica will travel. Single to run the first. Grounded out in the fourth. Hundley puts down the target. Holtzman working from the stretch. Runner on first, nobody out. Pitch to Linz. And that's a strikeout for Linz with 1 away. Now Harrelson comes up. He's 0 for 2. Seaver on deck. Hundley puts down the sign. Holtzman looking in. Runner on first and 1 out. The pitch to Harrelson. And that's going to be ground ball to short. That could be 2. Kessinger's got it. No. The only play he's going to have the first. It was a tough hop. So Kessinger, only play he had. Grody was second. And now runner on second with 2 outs. And now here's Seaver. So now Seaver in a predicament, 2 outs and a runner on. He can really help himself with a ribby here, but he has struck out twice. Puts down the Holtzman for stretch. Runner on second, 2 outs. Pitch to Seaver. And that's a single field for Seaver. He's a 114 if he wants to try, sir. We'll see if he wants to try. Here he comes to throw it out in time. Yeah, Seaver. So Tom Seaver helps himself here in the 6th inning. Mets lead 5-0. Base hit for the Mets. His hit number 8. So here's Agee, 1 for 3 bubble back in the 5th inning. Hundley puts down the target. Again, Holtzman looks in for the sign. It looks like it might be off for Holtzman at some point here. He's going to hit hard. And here's a ground ball to third. Santos goes to second, gets the easy play. And the Mets tack on another one here in the 6th. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Mets 5, Cubs nothing. So a big win so far for the Mets here in Wrigley Field, trying to even the series before tomorrow's getaway doubleheader. So Ernie Banks comes in, and then it will be Jacob deGrom's next start. You'll see here on WOR. That'll be against Cincinnati Reds when they come in the shade. George Culver at the starting. We'll be against somebody WOR. Mets. Bottom 6th inning, 5 Mets. Willie Banks followed by Santos. Wind up. Here's Banks. And that is going to be a base hit for Banks. He's 2 for 3. So here is Ron Santos. So Seaver again, working again from the stretch. He's been on the block today. Grody puts down the sign for him again. Grody, the calm influence on these two rookies or two phenoms his rookie year. Seaver looks in for the windup. Here's a pitch to Santos, and that is going to be a ground ball double play. Wins Charles double play. 5, 4, and 3. So 2 for the price. The 1 in 68. So here's Glenn Becker. 2 outs in the 6th. Wind up the Becker, and that a strikeout receiver, and that ends the 6th. We played 6 all Mets, 5-0. Mets 5 runs on 8 hits. The Cubs no runs on 6 hits. Scoreboard check. The Astros won. The Giants, Braves tied out. So they don't have to bullpen. Hundley puts down the sign. Holtzman with a big wind up the white. And that's going to be a ground ball to short. Kessinger's got goes to Banks and 1 away. Here's Cleon Jones. 1 out in the 7th. Jones is 1 for 2. Home run, 2 RBIs, and a big sacrifice fly back in the 5th. 3 RBIs, now get him 17 on the season. Hundley puts down the target, and Holtzman with the big wind up. Another hit for Jones. This time must end up double with 1 out, and the Mets are going for more. Here's Ed Charles, single in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd, and walked in the 5th. Hundley puts down the sign, and Holtzman from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Ed Charles, and that ground ball to short. Let's see if Kessinger's got this one. He does. He holds the runner back. No, he threw it high to Banks. Jones will score, and the Mets lead by 6. And that will not be an RBI, as Charles will a second on the error, and Kessinger air-mailed it over Banks' head. So the Cubs' misery continues. Mets lead now 6-0 with 1 out in the 7th. And here is Ron Swoboda. So Holtzman now just trying to get through this. Hundley puts down the sign for him, tells him hang in there. Holtzman from the stretch. Here's the pitch to him, and that is going to be fly to left. William here makes the catch and 2 outs. Here's Grody. 2 for 3. He's had a double in the 4th and single in the 6th. Hundley puts down the sign. Holtzman from the stretch. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a ball to right. Spangler's there, makes the catch. And the Mets add another run. They're looking like a picket fence here. Running the 5th, 6th, and 7th. Lead 6-0 into the bottom of the inning. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a very exciting game here. As my game continues to kind of mess up on me, so I'm glad that didn't show anything I wanted to see. It's 6-0. Mets is here. Play the bottom of the 7th. Let's make sure we're still in action here. Play fast and play quick is this. Hundley, Kessinger, and a pinch hitter finally for Holtzman in the 7th. Mets taking it to the Cubs today, 9 hits to 6. Grody puts down the target. Seaver looks in. Here's a pitch to Hundley. And that is a fly ball to center. AG is there, makes the catch, and there's 1 away. Here's Kessinger, 1 for 2, single back in the 7th. Grody puts down the sign. Seaver, the windup, here's the pitch to Kessinger. 3-3 ground ball back to Seaver. He's got it, throws the first 2 away. Here's Kenny Holtzman. Let's see if they pinch hit for him. They do. And it will be Willie Smith, who has been pinch hitting all season for the Cubs. He Jacob DeGrom that broke up the perfect game after 26 in a row. He's hitting .467, mostly pinch hitting, 15 at-bats, 4 doubles, a triple, 3 RBIs. Grody puts down the sign. Seaver, the big windup pitch to Willie Smith. And that's a hit batsman. I wonder if that was from DeGrom. Seaver nods, and Willie Smith takes first. Oh my goodness, that had to have some purpose in it. It's a 6-0 lead, and why do you hit somebody with 2 outs? Oh, you knew DeGrom probably had Seaver go. You see that him up there. You throw one right in the ribs. So now I have to keep an eye on that. Here's Phillips, 1 for 3 of the double. Grody puts down the sign. Seaver from the stretch pitch to Phillips. And that is a strikeout for Seaver as he looks back at Willie Smith. Bill Stoneman comes in the game for the Cubs. It's nothing Mets. So now be Lynn's and then Seaver. We'll see if he bats him for himself in the 8th. And he may get one right in the old chops. But luckily, pitchers do not have hit batsmen on their cards, or we can have a game in itself here as interesting game here to you. It's 6-0 Mets. And it's going to be Phil Linz, Harrelson, and Seaver, like we said. Righty, switch righty against Bill Stoneman, who has a lot of power on his card. So Hundley puts down the sign. Stoneman, who's 1-1, 1.29 ERA, 12 hits in 14 innings. Stoneman with the windup here to pitch to Linz, and that will be a line drive right at Santos, 1 away. Here's Bud Harrelson. He's 0 for 3. Hundley puts down the sign. Stoneman looks in. Here's the pitch. And that is going to be a single in center field. Here comes Seaver. Now, what do the Cubs Mets do here? They bat for Seaver in the 8th, 6-run lead. No, Seaver grabs a bat. He's saying he's batting. So here goes Tom. All right. Hundley looks in, sign down. Stoneman, here it goes. No hit batsman's on the card, but you know if there was one. A walk to Seaver. So Stoneman starting off strong, 1st and 2nd, 1 out, and here's AG. 1 for 4, the double. He doubled back in the 5th. Oh, my, Mets really trying to open up a big lead here. Hundley puts down the sign. Stoneman from the stretch. Here's a pitch to AG, and that's going to be a fly ball to right. Spangler's there, makes the catch, and there's 2 outs, and here's Al Weiss. 1 for 4, the run scored. Hundley puts down the sign. Stoneman from the stretch peeks in. 1st and 2nd, 2 outs. Pitch to Weiss, and that is a pop up to 1st. Banks is there, makes the catch, and we go to the bottom of the 8th. Nothing Mets. So last of the 8th, just trying to see if they can work their way in this game, and they haven't so far. Spangler, Williams, Banks, righty. It'll be lefty, lefty, righty against Seaver here in the 8th. Grody puts down a sign. Seaver with the big windup pitch to Spangler. And that is a fly ball to center. AG is there, makes the catch, and there's 1 away. Here's Billy Williams. He's been tied down so far. Forced out, flied out, and a ground out. Grody puts down the sign. Seaver with the big windup, and Billy Williams. And that's a fly ball to center. AG is there, makes the catch, and there's 2 outs in the 8th. Here's Ernie Banks, 2 for 3, single in the 4th, and single in the 6th. Ernie Banks will get his chance and play 2 tomorrow. Grody puts down the sign. Seaver looks in. Here's the lineup, the Banks. And that is a strikeout for Seaver, and we played 8. Seaver wants to finish this. We played 8, 6-0 Mets. So Cleon Jones, followed by Ed Charles and Ron Swoboda will bat for the Mets here in the 9th. Jones had a great day. He had 2 hits, 3 RBIs, and a homer back in the 1st. Stoneman pitching here in the 9th. Hundley puts down the sign. Stoneman with the lineup pitch to Jones. And Jones ground ball to short. Ketchinger goes to Banks, and there's your first out here in the visitors' 9th. Ed Charles 1 for 3 of the runs scored. He singled back in the 1st. He struck out in the 3rd. He walked in the 5th and got on a big error back in the 7th. Hundley puts down the signs. Stoneman with a big windup pitch to Charles, and that will be a line drive base hit for Charles. So Charles continues to have a hot hitting. Here's Ron Swoboda, who's 0 for 3 with a walk. Hundley puts down the signs. Stoneman from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Swoboda, and that's a base hit in the gap. Oh, Swoboda gets one to the wall. Charles will go to 3rd. It's right there, and the Mets have 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. So a big double for Swoboda. So here's Jerry Grody, 2 for 4, has a double in the 4th, single in the 6th. Cubs decide to call it gets through the white hanky. They have the infield back with one out here in the ninth. Hundley sets in the target. Stoneman from the stretch. Second and third, one out, pitch to Grody. And that's a strikeout, 2 outs. So now here is the Bud Harrelson. Again, they pitch on Lynn. Sorry, Phil Lynn's came up. Kind of overjumped myself. He's 1 for 4 RBI, single in the first. With on-deck hitter Harrelson to follow. Stoneman trying to work his way out of it. Second and third, 2 outs. Hundley puts down the sign. Stoneman from the stretch. Pitch to Linz, and the ground ball to second. Becker's got him, and good job by Stoneman to allow no more damage. We head to the bottom of the ninth. Mets lead 6-0. Mets 6 runs on 12 hits and no errors. The Cubs no runs on 6 hits and 1 error. After the game, we'll go ahead and auto the double error on Sunday, plus get you to the next star for Jacob, as we'll auto those rest of those games too in the National League. So here on Santos, followed by Becker and Hundley against Seaver, trying to finish it here. Grody puts down the sign. Seaver, the big wind-up pitch to Santos. And that is going to be a pop the first. Charles is there, makes the catch, and there's one away. And here's Glenn Becker. Grody puts down the sign. Seaver looks in, fans on their feet. Met fans that came here. 3-12 line drive out. Weiss makes the catch. Oh, and Glenn Becker will be up probably for the rest of the series as he goes out maybe holding his oblique. That was a thing in 68. So he'll come out of the ball game. And now here is Randy Hundley. So a Becker an injury will keep him for next 2 and probably the next one of his next game after that. So good. That's a bad injury for the Cubs that are trying to trail the Mets here. Grody puts down the sign. Seaver from the windup. Is this the last play of the ball game? That's a pop the first. Charles is there. We got a happy recap here. The Mets win it by the score of 6-0. A snowman for Seaver. Pitches a 6-hit shutout as the Mets win 6-0. So the Mets with a dominating effort today. The Mets get back on track and go 17-9. The Cubs are 17-11. Seaver 9 innings, 6 hits, 7 strikeouts. ERA down to a very pleasant 2.83. Holtzman goes 7, 9 hits, 6 runs, 5 are earned, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. ERA 4.14. Stoneman goes 2 innings, 3 hits, no other damage. Doubles by A.G. Jones, Swoboda, Grody, and Phillips. Cleon Jones with a first inning home run that set the tone. Cleon Jones with 3 RBIs gave him 17. Lynn's had his 5th, and Tom Seaver added an RBI for the METS Mets. For the statistical part of this game, 3 Mets had 2 hits. Cleon Jones 2 for 4, 2 for 3 RBIs. Him along with Tom Seaver will join Ralph Kiner afterwards in Kiner's corner. Ed Charles 2 for 4 and a run scored, and Jerry Grody 2 for 5 and a run scored. For the Cubs, Ernie Banks went 2 for 4, and that's the only Cub with more than 1 hit. Thank you, folks. Well, that was the presentation of the Sports Time Machine 1968 alternate universe replay as the Mets went by the score of 6-0. Let's go ahead and auto the rest of this doubleheader here. And we'll go ahead and put the Mets on there. Jerry Kuzman against Joe Negro and Bart Cardwell against Rich Nye. Go ahead and play those games. They made out. The Mets beat the Cubs 3-1 and then beat the Cubs badly 10-5. So they win 3 out of 4. Continue to show a very aggressive 68. The Mets don't play on Monday, May the 13th. So go ahead and play those strictly right now. So that was our now done. And then we'll go ahead and see what's available on the next set of days. On May 14th, the Mets will have, the Reds do come to town on Tuesday the 14th. Tony Cloninger will get the start against Dick Selma. We'll see if the Mets can keep on their winning ways here. And they do. The Mets beat the Reds 8-4. So this Met team cannot be denied. They're playing so well. And the next game on the schedule is going to be George Culver against Jacob on the 15th, a Wednesday night here in Shea. So please join us for that one. Let's look at the standings one more time. I have a feeling everyone's going to enjoy them. The Mets have really been putting some wins together. So far in the National League, the Mets have a 2.5 game lead on the Giants. a 3.5 on the Pirates and a 3.5 over the Braves, while the Cubs have stumbled to 4.5 back. They are 20-9 on the season. They've won 8 out of 10. They've won 4 in a row. And most importantly, they're a plus 44 on the run score differential, which is number 1. Their next series against the Cincinnati Reds, they're 11-19, 9.5 backs. Looks like a schedule where the Mets should hopefully keep on dominating before they get to, hopefully, the harder part of the schedule. Mets looking really good right now. They're 7 above where they were initially in 1968 when they were 13-16. In first place in the National League on that day was the St. Louis Cardinals. They were 19-10, probably thanks to Bob Gibson, reeling off all the wins he did. 19-10, winning 97 games. The Cardinals looks like went first place from first opening day to the end. But the Cardinals are struggling a bit. They're 15-14, 5 games out of first place. Thank you, folks. That's a recap of these games. We might see you again for more baseball, as it will be the New York Mets taking on the Cincinnati Reds, as George Culver will take on Jacob deGrom, and then Jim Maloney will get a start against Tom Seaver as the Mets return home. Thank you, folks. We'll see you again. Please like, please subscribe, and comment for more content. We'll talk to you later, and have a good rest of your day.